Hi, this is Adam Buker, and you're watching Music Philosophy, the podcast that connects music to life. Well, as I posted in my Twitter account, I'm going to make some changes to the way I've been doing this podcast. And the reason for that is that some of the topics I go into take a lot of time to really get into in depth, and especially if I haven't done enough really thought into how I want to organize my presentation of certain ideas, because a lot of times I'm just doing this podcast extemporaneously. That kind of lends it to a lot of sections where I'm just not presenting the ideas I want to present as coherently as possible. And not only that, I also feel that I might possibly be losing listener interest. And sometimes if I get onto a tangent or a subtopic, I find it hard to get back onto the main topic I was talking about anyway. So rather than presenting very long, detailed, podcast on one topic at a time, I've decided to break the podcast into three reoccurring segments. And that way, if I have more detailed thoughts, rather than just doing one entire podcast devoted to something, I can have a little bit of everything in each podcast. And if I want to go into more detail on something, I can just point that out in my blog or point out a link to somewhere that talks about that same topic. Let me know what you think. Either post a comment on my YouTube video, or you can post a comment on my Facebook fan page or my MySpace page. Or if anything else, you can retweet me. To follow my Twitter, just go to my website and look on the left-hand side, and it should have a little section on my Twitter feeds, plus a link to where you can follow me on Twitter. Okay, so this week I am working on an orchestral theme, or orchestral piece. I haven't come up with yet a working title for it, but it's going to be one long continuous movement, and I'm aiming that when I'm finished, that as an extended work, it's going to be around approximately 20 minutes long. Basically, what I'm wanting to put into my feelings on this work is the overcoming of despair. That is, to take the emotion of despair and expound on it, and expound on triumphing over it. So what I'm going to show you is a little bit of excerpt from a theme that I'm going to be working on in this piece that reoccurs throughout it, that is the theme of despair. Hope you guys enjoy it. for what I'm listening to this week, I've been really into a soundtrack for a film called Spirited Away, which came out which was originally released in Japan in 1999 and came to the States a few years later. The film Spirited Away is about a girl named Chihiro who must navigate the rigors of working in a bathhouse in the spirit world in order to save her parents who had been turned into pigs as punishment for eating the food of the spirits. I found the film to be personally engaging and very wonderful in its visuals and its storytelling. And the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. And this being a music podcast and all, I want to really concentrate on the soundtrack. The composer for the soundtrack is Joe Hisashi. And what he really does most successfully in his soundtrack is bringing out a really strong Japanese feel and presence to the entire soundtrack. This is definitely evident in its use of Japanese scales and native Japanese instruments like flutes, drums, and various stringed instruments. So, if you're a fan of film soundtracks, I would suggest definitely purchasing this. All right. Well, that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the new podcast format. Please let me know by either leaving comments on this video or sending me a message via YouTube, or you can also put a message on my Facebook fan page, or you can also send me a direct message via Twitter. Well, that's all for the day. You guys have a great afternoon.